The Center for Credible Leadership and Citizens Awareness has called on the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, to comply with the order of the Supreme Court affirming Edozie Njoku as the national chairman of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. This was the subject of a media briefing in Abuja where the Director General of the center faulted INEC for failing to recognize Njoku as the national chairman of APGA despite the Supreme Court verdict given in March of 2023. The group is urging President Tinubu, the National Security Advisor, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to intervene in the matter.
The Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the land as far as the Federal Republic of Nigeria is concerned, has ruled unequivocally that Chief Edozie Njoku is the chairman of APGA. Then this court order, as stated, pronounced by the Supreme Court, was flouted. Then some persons that are members of APGA also approached the court of competent jurisdiction in Buhari, trying to investigate why the court order as made by the Supreme Court was flouted. And they also got a judgment that stated very clearly that the INEC chairman is found guilty of contempt of court, and Mr. Oye also, who parades himself as the chairman. What we are saying is that the case of APGA, has been there for a very long time. And we feel that as it affects INEC, which is an institution established by law, which is an institution that depicts democracy, as it were, that it is imperative, it is pertinent that Professor Mahmood, who is the chairman of INEC, respects the judgment of the court.
Legal practitioner Micheal Ajara joins me now in the studio to make light of this. Good to see you and thanks for your time. We know the matter is still in court, and so we'll just go around it, sketch around it so that we don't dig in deep. But it's been a long time coming, this case, sometime around 2019 or so. Now, this centers on the court verdict. Let's first talk about the judgment which has recognized Njoku. If that before, it's a long journey, does that also prevent INEC, as it were, from recognizing Njoku as the substantive chairman of APGA?
Oh, thank you very much. I want to state clearly that, and I'm happy you stated that position, that the matter is still in court, at the Court of Appeal at the moment. And as a lawyer, I am a bit constrained from saying anything on that issue until decided. But however, on the generally,
yes,
as the law is, as soon as a court judgment is made, the order of court is made, I mean, anybody, everybody, be it institution, government, are bound to obey the order of court. So, like the gentlemen, the civil society organization have stated, if the Supreme Court have decided, well, the INEC, be it INEC, they are bound to obey the order of court. And why this is happening is because of the inconsistency, I guess, the way and manner orders of court are chosen, and they obey. There's no consistency. That is why all this is happening. Ordinarily, when once a court has decided, I mean, the institution is bound to obey the orders of court.
There's something again here, and it looks like setting a precedent, whether it's good or bad, is another it's another argument.
Yeah.
Now you're listening to them, they're asking the president as well as the attorney general to intervene.
Yeah.
But I think it's understandable you talk about the AGF, but yes, why always with the president?
Well, our democracy is such that whether we like it or not, the president of Nigeria is very powerful, and it is for the good of the president if he ensures that all the arms of government work independently. For instance, where an order of court is not obeyed, it affects whether or not it affects the stability of the government, and the president should be interested in ensuring that orders of court are obeyed, and the Attorney General, being the law officer of the government, it is his responsibility to ensure where, if any order of court by any agency of government or department of government is not being obeyed, to ensure they are obeyed. And I'm sure that is why they are calling on the Attorney General to invoke his powers, to advise the government accordingly, to ensure that any order of court, any judgment of court that is given by a competent court of law should be obeyed, because that is the subject, that is what the rule of law entails.
And are there precedents where the NSA or the AGF, because looking at that statement, the NSA was also mentioned.
Yes.
Are there precedents in the national life where they have intervened to the extent that the right things were done?
Yes. Well, yeah, certainly, although most of them will not even come to the fore, because it is the duty of the Attorney General of the Federation to ensure that every order of court is obeyed. Remember, the judiciary operates independently, and unfortunately, it is the executive that even execute and enforce the order of court, because the police is under the executive, So it is most of these things may not come to the fore. Unfortunately, this one is coming to the fore. Any responsible Attorney General ensures that the orders of court, judgments of court are obeyed.
And who makes that push, in case this is outside his radar, and who brings it before him?
Well, that's why most times, in most of these cases, you see the Attorney General being a party, so that he will, from the beginning, he will be a party to ensure, so that once the order is ready, is given by the court, delivered, be it a judgment or order of court is given, he follows to ensure it is obeyed. And where, if he is not a party, and because of the sometimes bureaucracy in the administration, the parties whose that order favors will ensure that it brings it before the Attorney General, bring it to the attention of the Attorney General that this is what is happening. And most times the Attorney General have to act swiftly, so that to avoid anarchy.
And we have an institution here, and that's the electoral umpire, INEC. Definitely, if this is it, the INEC is also joined in this suit, then the INEC should know when this judgment was given to so recognize Dozie Njoku as APGAT national chairman, which it's, according to the report, it still hasn't.
Yes, that is why, because INEC was relevant, is a necessary party, having a very key role to play. Because whether you like it or not, we are practicing, our democracy is such that the parties, we should not joke with the parties, because they are the ones that recruit and present to the people, our leaders. So what goes on in the party is very, very important, because that is where the recruitment process starts. So it is important that we stabilize our parties as much as possible, so that they will work independently and engage the people, so that the recruitment exercise of our leaders will be seemingly, without difficulties, And as you said, the NSA is broad because he's in charge of security. And these are issues that breeds anarchy and disturbance, civil disturbance in the society. So every agency of government, every responsible agency of government and personnel serving the government must make sure that the orders of court are obeyed, judgments are recognized and obeyed, so that at least we'll have our democracy will develop to, sophistication.
Well, it's a fine place for us to leave it. I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you very
Micheal
much.
Ajara,
I
legal
appreciate,
practitioner.
I appreciate, sir.